After 15 years being cancer-free, my cancer's back, and I can't eat. Hi, I'm Denise, and welcome to Travels in My Chair. Just getting ready to take another family holiday. We're going back to the chalets we went to last year. It'll be fun. Problem is I developed a food aversion, and I'm going to talk to you about that in this video. Cancer, you know. Just when you think you've got it all under control, it just seems to want to come and zap you again. Anyway, stay with me, okay? The tail end of 2006, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and it was fueled by estrogen. So I was put on a drug called letrozole, which I was on for 11 years. I call it my little lifesaver pill because I really firmly believe it did. In July of 2007, I had a mastectomy. I had a 16-week course of radiation. Everything was okay, basically. They had removed a bunch of lymph nodes when they did the cancer, removed the breast, and they were compromised. So my oncologist told me, you know, there is cancer floating around your body, and hopefully we can keep it under control and it'll just stay there wherever it is hiding. And so I guess I was lucky. None of my blood work ever showed that there was cancer. They did bone scans frequently. They did CT scans. Nothing. Although I did have a mark on my sternum, which they thought was a hole in my sternum, and that the cancer had gone to my bone. But what they realized near the end of, after about 11 years, is, well, you know, that's funny about that hole. It hasn't gotten bigger, it hasn't gotten smaller, it hasn't disappeared, it hasn't spread to other parts of the body, so maybe it's just a shadow. Anyway, it had been radiated pretty heavily after my mastectomy, so whatever, maybe that controlled it. So I went happily along for 15 years, and then last year it came back. I can't say it blindsided me, because all along my whole life after 2006, I kind of knew that there was cancer somewhere in my body that may or may not one day rear its ugly head again. And I only hoped at the time that it would try to keep its little self out of my brain or my lungs. That was sort of how I thought. And it did, you know. It went into my sacrum and bones, hips and stuff. And so far, the chemo pill, the Ibrance, coupled with the letrozole, the monthly bone infusion, and that heavy dose of radiation that I had last year, kept it all under control. When they did a CT scan, a couple of CT scans ago, and I thought I had it now on my left side, my oncologist felt that it was sclerosis, which is not to be confused with multiple sclerosis, which I have, but a sclerosis is a hardening of the bone. And of course with bone cancer, your bone is very porous, too. So I have to be uber careful about not falling or breaking a bone. So one of the reasons why I'm so concerned about the lack of food that I'm able to ingest is all about keeping my strength up so that I can fight. And that's sort of what it's all about. I'm not making this video going on about food because, you know, I love food. But my oncologist thinks I've developed a food aversion. And she says it's not uncommon with people having cancer treatments. And I just thought maybe I should share that with you. So if you're having cancer treatments and all of a sudden you can't eat, maybe you can do something about it. You don't want to live on Ensure and Boost, that's for sure. But, you know, there's ways to boost your diet. So let me just sort of explain my conversation with my oncologist, because some of you probably were wondering, I had talked about my white blood cells and my red blood cells being too low. My red and white blood cell count had gotten lower, and I thought that I was in deep trouble. But my oncologist assures me that they have been worse, and that this is just within her realm of okay. she said, I'm going to keep you on the adjusted course of the Ibrance, which is the chemotherapy oral pill. She said, we're going to keep you on 21 days on and 14 days off, because that's helped your white blood cell count improve. And have you noticed any other differences? And I said, well, I thought it was helping me be able to eat a little bit better, but now I'm not so sure, because I'm still really having problems. She says, well, that might be just the heat, because we are in a bit of a heat wave right now. And I said, yeah. And she said, you know, you could try supplementing, you know, with a smoothie or Boost or Ensure or something, because I said I was worried about not getting enough protein in my diet. And she said she'd get the nutritionist to phone me, the cancer nutritionist, that we could have a conversation. And then she said something that I'd never heard before. She said, well, you know, it's not unheard of at all with cancer patients to develop food aversions. And after I got off the phone with her, of course, me and Mr. Google had a long session so I could find out what a food aversion is. Let me give it to you in different ways, not even pertaining to cancer. But years ago, we were on our way to Alberta, and our daughter got car sick really bad, and it was super hot. And we tried everything. We went into a gas station bathroom. We tried everything to mop her up. It was awful. And Alan bought vanilla air fresheners to put in the car. To this day, I cannot stand the smell of vanilla. It just makes my stomach. Now, the other thing would be, let's say you are going for chemotherapy, and your first visit, your mouth's dry, you're feeling nervous. So you pop, I don't know, Werther's, Mentos, wine gums, whatever, to try and, you know, put some moisture in your mouth. And after you have your chemotherapy, you're sick. And from then on, you cannot eat whatever the candy was that you'd had. Now, sometimes this aversion can last for weeks. It can last for days, but can also last for life. As a child, if you've been forced to eat Brussels sprouts, or liver or something, and you just literally cannot eat it. And for me, it was as a teenager, I drank lemon gin and got very, very sick, and now lemon gin, there's no way. I'm probably not alone in that, by the way. So anyway, that's a food aversion. So if you're undergoing any kind of cancer treatment, or you're having health issues, or you're having stomach problems, gallbladder problems, all of this might end up making you not be able to eat certain food. So that is something I can say, okay, I understand, but I can hardly eat anything. And I'm not kidding you guys. Like, my morning time is a piece of whole wheat toast with nut butter on it and cinnamon, and a half a cup of coffee and a pear. And I also nibble on the end of a turmeric root. Keeps you regular. That's breakfast. And I don't usually eat that till about 10 o'clock. In the afternoon now, I might have a Boost or an Ensure or a smoothie, but I don't really want to eat. And I have to be careful, because if I go beyond 2 o'clock, then I can't eat supper. And supper, for instance, as an example, last night Alan did a stir fry, and I usually can eat a stir fry because it's usually just vegetables, mostly with a bit of chicken. I hardly could eat it. The things that are bothering me, steamed vegetables. I used to love all kinds of vegetables, but the thought of steamed green beans or steamed broccoli now just turns me, but I'll eat them raw. One of the most common, or two of the most common aversions when you're having cancer treatment is coffee and red meat. So just keep that in mind. But there are other foods that actually help in fighting cancer that they've done studies on, and you know, YouTube it, Google it, whatever. I don't need to go into all the details, but I'll just give you a quick list. Tomatoes, flaxseed, avocados, garlic, beans and legumes, which I can't eat, broccoli and Brussels sprouts, which I can't eat, berries because of the antioxidants, especially blackberries and blueberries, grapes, green tea. It did say soy, but if you have an estrogen-fueled breast cancer, then you should check with your doctor about that, because soy I don't think is something you should have. Squashes, carrots, fatty fish like salmon, and walnuts. I tried salmon the other night and I was able to eat about 6 bites before. I think I need to explain to you what happens, okay? Whether it be oatmeal or eggs cooking, onions frying, anything like that, the smell shuts my body down. And so there's a plate of food in front of me. I look at it. I can't handle a big heap of food. It has to be small amounts. This has just been in the last year, so this is very weird to me. And then I go to eat it, and I can maybe have a bite, or I can have 2 bites of a little tiny piece of steak or something like that. And then all of a sudden my brain tells nose tells my brain, tells my mouth, no, wall goes up, that's it. And it's not like I feel sick. It's not like my stomach starts roiling, and nothing like that happens. It just absolutely cannot. And I've sat at the table for 20 minutes waiting to feel like I can eat again, because I know that I'm not eating enough. No. And sometimes I also realize, wow, I'm hungry, but I can't eat. This is really a problem. A food aversion. It's an aversion to food. And I could say to myself, okay, I can see that you not being able to eat something really spicy or like Indian food or anything like that. I can see that, okay? That it's not going to make you feel really good. You're on a lot of medication right now. I can see that. But guys, this is practically everything. Like, Alan makes me homemade wonton soup. He even makes his own wontons. And I can sometimes eat it and sometimes not. So this is where I'm at right now. I'm doing my own little internal study of whether or not the problems I'm having are caused by the chemotherapy drug and the letrozole, the combination of the two, and the fact that I've just got cancer roaring in my body, and or the Ozempic, which is the type 2 diabetes drug. Now, I tend to think that it's a combination of the both, but leaning more towards the Ozempic, because after all, the Ozempic is going to stop you from wanting to eat anything with sugar and things like that in it. I'm going to call my doctor, and I'm going to ask him if I could possibly go off my Ozempic for 2 months, just to give it a trial run to see if it improves my appetite. Now, I have to say, with being on the Ozempic has lowered my blood sugar for my type 2 diabetes to exactly where the doctor wants it to be for the first time in probably 6 or 7 years. So he's happy, and I'm happy about that, but it's not changing the quality of my life. In fact, it's probably making it worse, though. We're leaving to go away to the chalets that we went to last year, and pretty excited. There might be 19 of us, or might be 21 of us. It depends if my brother ends up coming or not. That's a drag that I'm not going to be able to eat, because everybody's going to be cooking some pretty amazing food, I'm sure, but it'll be so much fun. It's so incredible to me that I have such a supportive family around me, and that they want to be with us, because that isn't the case all the time. You know, we're getting older. We're not doing all the crazy things that we used to do, but they can still go do their crazy things. If they want to go mountain bike riding or rent the horses again, whatever they want to do, I don't care. I just love to hear them laughing, and I love to watch them having a good time. And hopefully this time I can maybe try to eat something. I hope so, because this food aversion, it's crap. The pain in my tailbones come back again too. It's a weird one, because it comes and then it goes, and then it comes and then it goes, and I don't know if it's just been since we've been getting this intense heat. I don't know with the sitting and stuff, because I sit all day anyway, but it's just right now it's really bothering me. And you know, I have to say, damn it, like, come on, give me a bit of a break here. You know what I really would like? Okay, what I'd really like, food-wise, I'd like a fresh order of halibut and chips, French fries, with a bit of homemade coleslaw. And for dessert, I think I would like a fruit flange or a fruit cobbler or something like that, with a bit of homemade ice cream on top. Oh boy, that would be so good. I'm not going to complain too heavily, because you know you guys don't want to hear it. Well, you're good people, so you'd probably listen, but really you don't want to hear it all the time, because it gets really boring stuff. I'm not boo-hooing me here, not boo-hooing, because I got to tell you about the good things that are in my life right now. Oh God, I got to tell you what we did the other day. The grandkids came over, 3, 5, and 7. Boiling hot out, we were having them for the whole day. I thought, what the heck am I going to do with them for the whole day? They are not going to be plucked in front of the TV. One of my friends yesterday suggested that if I wanted to keep the kids occupied, we're babysitting our 3 grandkids all day, or you should say grandparenting them. And she said, if you want to keep them occupied all day, buy 3 Rubbermaid containers, fill them up with water, put them in the sun till they get warm. Now we've moved the kids to the shade, and then just let them have it. And you know what? They'll be all day. You won't have to do a thing. Get some plastic containers to play with. I'm just passing this along because it saved our bacon today for sure. Thanks for joining me today. It's a little bit of a rant about food. I don't know, guys. It's a part of cancer I'd never thought about. I thought, okay, I'm going to have to learn how to deal with the pain. I'm going to have to learn how to deal with the bone infusion every month, and the meds I'm on, and the CT scan every 3 months, and the blood work every month, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'll deal with it, fine. My life is going to evolve around all this now. But as long as I'm relatively healthy, I'm okay. So that's the important part, is staying relatively healthy. The food is a very important part of that. Staying hydrated and eating well. And if I have to eat raw vegetables, so be it. That'll be fine. I can do that. Luckily, my son and daughter-in-law have a wonderful vegetable garden. So thanks for joining me today. As always, I love your comments. I know that the amount of people watching has gone down, because I think the most people that watch this channel are watching it because they want to know about cancer and my journey with cancer. And I feel that's okay, guys. I get it. That's why you're here. But cancer, I don't want to make cancer my life. As it is, I'm not active enough because of my MS. So whenever I get an opportunity to do something, I'll share it with you, because I'm lucky that I can. So continue watching, I hope. I know I go all over the place sometimes, but you understand, I think. You know, I've got a puppy that's making me laugh, so I want to share her with you. The grandkids, I have to be careful because, you know, privacy and all that. But I'm here today, and I feel good today. Who knows how it'll be tomorrow? See you in a couple of weeks. Bye for now.